Getting ungated is one of the most frustrating steps for new Amazon sellers. What if I told you you can use AI to make it so much easier? I started using ChatGPT to speed up the ungating process, and it's helped me unlock restricted brands much faster. So, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I use ChatGPT to ungate brands for me that most sellers can't touch. Get a lot of questions, whether it's comments on the other videos that I've made about ungating brands and products here on YouTube, or from students that I coach about the right way to apply for ungates and what to do when you get stuck in that auto denial cycle. Because eventually, and almost 90% of the time, maybe a little bit lower, you're going to be submitting ungate applications multiple times. And when you hit a certain threshold of applications, you're going to start to see that right after you submit your application, it's going to say denied, usually within the 5, 10, sometimes 30 minutes or an hour. And nobody's actually looking at that application. It's just an automatic system from Amazon that is just putting denied on it, and it's going to tell you don't submit any more applications, and you're going to have to go through the existing case that you created when you did your last application that actually went through and didn't get auto denied. So I put together this prompt for you to grab in the description below and for you to use through ChatGPT to be able to get a professional response that I have seen actually work, and something along the lines of what I would type out to Amazon myself to be able to get the applications approved. But I put it into this prompt so that way you can have ChatGPT write you the answer, fill in all your information for you with the invoice that you're using. So this is going to just say draft a professional letter requesting the brand. You'll fill in the brand name here. And then for the ASIN, you'll just replace this line right here with the ASIN that you're using to ungate for the brand that you're trying to get ungated. It's going to say what the letter should include. So, being polite, opening a request, statement that you have all the documentation that they're asking for, because if you're applying through one of the retailers or suppliers that I have mentioned in other videos that will show up at the end of this video, then it is an authorized distributor. You shouldn't be getting denials. It is also going to have it fill in the information from your invoice that they're asking for. And all of this information right here is going to come from the ungating application here. So the date, name and address of your information, name and address of the supplier, combined purchase of 10 units for this brand, for example. And then you can cross out the pricing information if you want. That's not a part of that prompt, but that is all of this information right here. It does have extra information here, the delivery confirmation. So you'll want to sub this in for whatever carrier it uses: UPS, FedEx, potentially USPS, but not really ever applicable. And then also product images, because usually you'll start applying for the ungates before you actually get the product in hand. You may get some denials on that, but that's just nothing to worry about because they want the order to be fulfilled. It will be fulfilled, but sometimes you can get the ungate through without actually getting the product delivered. I have personally many times. But then sometimes they want it to actually be delivered. So these two will come after you get the product, but you can, what I recommend is take the order invoice, which is all of this information here. This one is going to be the delivery confirmation, but what also helps is the email showing that the shipping was confirmed. So you can do a PDF of that email, make sure it shows the tracking number on there. What I also do is I'll take the online tracking information. Some websites, it'll be through their own website. So if you have that, then take a screenshot of that page showing the same tracking number and showing delivered on their website with the tracking steps usually. So just take a screenshot of like this whole page here. So it shows the web link up here. Then it shows the company name, usually in the top left. Then you'll have the tracking number, the date that it was delivered, all the steps, that kind of stuff. And then what I'll also do is take the email delivery confirmation. I'll take another screenshot of, say it was UPS, then UPS.com showing the same thing as the supplier's website, showing the same delivered date, tracking steps, link to UPS, same tracking number. Then, if you want extra help or extra proof, they always have a proof of delivery document. UPS, FedEx, you can click a link on their tracking page, say get proof of delivery, and that will have even more information, the weight of the box, all of this other stuff. And that is what they use. So that's also really helpful. You just want to give them as much information as you can once you start getting these auto denials, or even in the beginning, but especially when you get the auto denials, to prove that you do own the product. You did buy it. It was delivered. That kind of stuff. Attached product images. You can take a photo of all of the products. So if you got 10 of them, lay them out on the floor or on a table, take a photo of all of them. So it shows that you have them in hand. And then what I also like to do is I'll take a photo of the tag on the product, the manufacturer tag. If it's a piece of clothing, I'm not talking about the tag that's on the waistband, for example, if it was sweatpants, that like size tag, no, but the one that is usually clipped onto the product that you would cut off. That's what I want to show them because that'll have the UPC code on it, show the brand usually, show the size, all that kind of stuff in the barcode. That is really important to add into. If you want something else extra, you can take a PDF of your bank statement, so your credit card statement. If you do that, then just black out all the information except for that charge and then your name, obviously. So that way they can find it easily, or you can highlight it, whatever's easier. But that is very helpful. So we're going to take this and we're going to put this into ChatGPT here. And I actually do have a product that we're going to sub in for this, just as the example. So we're going to put the ASIN in here. And then we're going to take the brand and say Nautica right there. We'll throw in just 10 units for the example because most brands are going to be 10 units there. We'll say UPS in here. And then we can do the month, date, year from the invoice. So what you'll also want to do is put in your supplier name. For Nautica, you'd want to use Nautica, and you'd also just attach your invoice to this. So that way ChatGPT can pull the date, month, year, or you can fill it in on your own there. If you did attach your invoice, you wouldn't really have to fill in the brand. And if you attach the delivery confirmation, you won't have to do that either. But for this example, since I don't actually have the invoice or the shipping confirmation, we're just going to do this here. So as we can see, it spits out this response right here. Very professional, asking for approval for Nautica on the Amazon account, specifically for ASIN. It's ASIN. And then we've got all of our details here. 10 units, dated, it would pull the date or fill in the date there. Invoice order number even, so it would pull that from your document that you attached there. And then it's got all of the bullet points applicable. It would probably pull a tracking number as well if you gave it the screenshots of the tracking information or the PDF of tracking information there. And you'll just fill in your full name, Amazon account name. You don't have to do the contact information because it's going to ask you that for the on the applications. They're going to have that. So you don't necessarily need this, but it is good to throw these two in there also. And so this is exactly what you'd want to do, and then send this into the case. If you get a specific denial reason from Amazon saying this is why we're denying it, then come back to this ChatGPT chat and put in their denial response, and then you'll be able to have it write you a response to whatever they said is their new denial reason. And this has worked for a lot of people that I've talked to about Ungates. and that I've seen talk about ungates nowadays, since policies have changed a little bit. It's not as easy as it used to be, but it is still possible. You just have to give them the right responses and information so that way they can't say no. Essentially, what you're doing, give them so much information that they don't have a reason to say no and they have to say yes. So just keep applying. Also, is the other thing, is something that I get a lot of questions about too, is why do they keep denying me? How many times am I going to have to apply? And there's no real answer to that. I've seen people apply once and get approved. I've seen people apply 5 times, 10 times and get approved. On the extreme cases, I've also seen somebody apply for over a month and it took them 45 days to get an ungate. But the thing about that is, and that I think a lot of people don't really either understand or want to accept, is that if there was no barrier to entry to these kind of brands where you have to ungate them, or it was super easy like it used to be, that's when it gets oversaturated and it waters down the ability to have good products in these brands. So, yes, you can make a lot of money on Amazon selling brands that you don't have to ungate because there are thousands of them out there that are auto approved for new sellers. But where the real longevity is and where a lot of money is hiding is inside of the brands that you have to do this kind of work for. So, don't shy away from ungates. If you have to return an order because you get your 30-day policy, it's coming to an end, return the order and order a new one and do the process over again with the new order number and information. But just don't stop applying because you will get it. It's just there's no set hard number on you have to apply this many times and then you'll get ungated like there used to be. It's very different nowadays, but I still have new sellers that I help that are getting ungated in big brands, some auto, some applying. So it is possible. It's just about how many times you give it a shot and how quick you are to give up is what's going to decide if you get the brand ungated or not. If you guys have any questions about anything I went over in this video, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to grab this ChatGPT prompt in the description below. And there's also a link down there for anybody who wants my personalized one-on-one help starting or growing their Amazon business. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.